Hello, it's Matt here. I want to share with you a story of how an American icon grew their business. And this is Coca-Cola. So in the 1950s, Coca-Cola was trying to increase their market share. And what they did is brought in a room full of people, kind of a focus group. And what they did is divided that room in between soda drinkers and non-soda drinkers. And what they found is that it was hard to get the non-soda drinker to drink soda. And what I mean by that is the non-soda drinker just didn't like soda. They just didn't like the sugar content. They didn't like the extra cost. Whatever it was just a hard conversion. So they kicked them out of the room. Now they were left with soda drinkers. In here they divided it between Pepsi drinkers and Coca-Cola drinkers. And there they found it was kind of harder to convert Pepsi drinkers over to Coca-Cola, because they were just loyal to the brand, whatever it was. Maybe it cost more, whatever it was. So really Coca-Cola decided on this. What they found is that by just packaging their product bigger, they increased their sales. So instead of selling an 8-ounce glass bottle, they increased it to the 16-ounce glass bottle back in the 50s. Then their idea is that you drink a 2 liter as fast as you drink a 1 liter. Now they also add 90-something different brands to their Coca-Cola trademark to sell to their current clients. And so really the reason I tell you this story is, how do you grow your business? So whether you're small, just starting out, and you want to reach your pinnacles, or if you're big and want to get to that next pinnacle, how do you do that? And so really you have to think about, there's 4 main ways that you can grow your business or increase your income. Let's face it, at the end we want to grow to increase our income, or grow just to kind of increase our significance, if you will. But let's kind of walk through that. Number 1 is you can cut costs. The problem is there's only so many costs that you can cut in your business. I mean, certainly you could figure out, how do I cut, say, a 12% cost and increase my bottom line by 50% is really how that works. If you can cut costs by, compared to revenue by 12%, you can increase your revenues, your net income to you by about 50%. Now, there's only so many cuts you can cost. So I want you to write this down. Sales cures all. Revenue cures all. So you have to be on a sales focus. You have to be on an expansion focus. You cannot expand and contract in the same mindset. You can't expand and contract in the same day. So if you're in sales and you're in business, you have to think about expansion each and every day, each and every second of every day. Is, how do I get in front of more people? How do I close more people? Which leads to the number 2 way to grow your business: cold prospecting. Now, I know I said that about Coca-Cola, and if you have a big book of business, then yeah, maybe you don't need to cold prospect, but cold prospecting, every business needs it. And so how do you develop a cold prospecting list through the sales funnel and the marketing funnel that we've already talked about on numerous videos? How do you develop a tight cold prospecting list so you can convert that? So we call that your next 50 or your next 100, and we'll talk about that in a later video. But you always want a cold prospecting, but you want that to be a tight, controlled group and controlled list. Number 3 is, how do you sell larger cases, if you will? How do you sell larger sales? How do you sell larger homes? How do you go from selling a $250,000 house to a $500,000 house? How do you go from selling a $30,000 product to a $60,000 product? And all businesses have this sort of cycle, and it's called power numbers. And so how do you get people to enter in at different areas of your funnel, if you will? So Starbucks could not be alive if they just sold you that expensive $5 cup of coffee. They need to actually sell you a croissant. They need to sell you some coffee sitting on the shelf so you bring home. So they need to drive that average sale not from $5, although that's what gets you in, is that very expensive cup of coffee. But they can't just rely on that $5. They got to say, how do we make every sale bigger? Then the actual 4th way is kind of what I was just talking about, is not just having a bigger sale and selling maybe a bigger house or a bigger item. The last one is cross-selling. What other things can I sell to my clients? What other things can I sell to my list? How do I cross-sell, upsell, and even downsell to my clients? And so in any business, when you look at the Starbucks model, you need a $5, so they have, call it a $5 item. They push you to $10 items, and then they push you to $25 items, and even $50 items. So think about it. The coffee, is $5. Then they get you to maybe buying a bag of coffee, which is $10. Then you maybe buy the Bowden press, which is $25 or $50. So everything is an exponential increase over the next item. So how do you cross-sell and upsell your clients through those different strategies? So number one, cutting costs. Only so much cost you can cut. Sales cures all. Number two is cold prospecting, coming up with a very tight strategy for cold prospecting so not to waste your resources of time and or money. Number three, how do you sell larger deals? How do you make your deals larger? And then number four is how do you cross-sell and upsell your current clients? So you have this client base. What are some natural add-ons to your business that can add value to your client base? That's how you build a great multi-layered sales and marketing process. So you have your sales process and marketing process with four multi-layered strategies on how to increase your revenue and your income. And remember, sales cures all.